Hey everybody, welcome to the Movie Goers podcast. My name is Jordan. You can find me on all socials at Jordy B Writing,
And I'm Darius. D's all up in your area on all socials.
and we'll be reviewing Temptations, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor. This movie was released in 2013. This movie stars Journey Smollett, Lance Gross, Kim Kardashian, Robbie Jones, Vanessa Williams, and Brandy Norwood. The plot synopsis: Judith, played by Journey Smollett, has known her husband Bryce, played by Lance Gross, since they were in high school, but now their marriage is growing stale. Having just completed her graduate work in psychotherapy, she's eager to begin a career as a marriage counselor. She takes an internship at a matchmaking firm for millionaires and meets Harley, played by Robbie Jones, a charismatic client who makes no effort to hide his attraction to Judith. Judith succumbs to his charms, placing her marriage in jeopardy. Now I'll toss it to you for Act One.
All right. First, why we picked this movie, to be honest, Tyler Perry is a very popular director, and this is the best of his slop. So we're gonna go into Act One. Go ahead. What
This
are you gonna
side
say?
of what the family that prays and why did I get married? Just the first one though.
I, you know, um, sure. Act one, we got the setup. Judith, a successful marriage counselor, appears to have a perfect life with her loving husband, Bryce. However, we soon sense underlying dissatisfaction and a longing for something more. First off the rip, saw Kim Kardashian. That was a solid five faces ago. Did
Right?
not.
She looks so different now. That's crazy.
I was like, who?
That probably was her best look.
It was, but I was like, man, what year was this movie? Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, I was like, dang.
She's been three different ethnicities since then. Again, Tyler Perry's lack of editing comes up right away because he is a pharmacist and she is a therapist at a tech company, and they're supposed to be poor. I've never
Right.
in my life heard of a poor pharmacist.
Pharmacist.
And those are the type
Unless
of
they're getting
things.
high on their own supply.
Correct. Well, then they're selling it. So, again, these are the type Tyler. For the viewers that don't know, Tyler Perry is notorious for streamlined processes with very few hands-on, and it allows him
Yes.
to create a high volume of content. But if you watch his stuff with a critical eye, you'll notice that there's just like inconsistencies and things that don't come up
Yes.
because he doesn't have editors. And it's the type of thing like if you're writing a book or whatever, by page 400, you kind of don't really have a something might have happened in page 100 that contradicts it. That's why you have
Yep.
an editor that goes, hey, da 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 da. And so one of the
Correct.
things we had here was he's just assigning jobs. He's a pharmacist. She's a da 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 da. But like those are two high earning jobs,
Right.
and their
In the
characters are supposed to
DC
be
area.
poor. Yeah, and their characters are supposed to
What?
be poor. It doesn't make any sense.
Not at all.
And I'll toss it to you for your first question and observation.
Yeah, so the opening scene there someone there is a marriage counselor doing therapy doing couples therapy and the guy is clearly more into the lady than she is into him. They have an argument. He's like, I wish I could be better for you. Tell me what I need to do to change myself for you. She's like, I hate when you do that. He gets pissed, he storms off, and then she more or less basically says or alludes to the fact that she's having what we later find out is an emotional affair with someone else.
Correct.
Um, I just want to say that if you are in the process of going to your therapist to ask them if it's okay to cheat, you should just leave that marriage.
I just love and the lack of sophistication in his script writing and storytelling.
It's crazy.
So her client just happened to be her story.
Right.
Literally, she's like, "Oh, is another man. Let me tell you a
Tell you about the
story."
story about my sister.
That's,
It's like when
that's
you go home
just
from school and you're like, "Hey, mom, my friend got grounded today,
yeah. It's
or got
just
suspended, and it was you."
it's just like he just smacks you on the head with it. He's just like
No
she sits down and
subtlety.
she sees herself in her clients. Oh, that's
Right.
but there's just no subtlety to it.
The
But
twist,
yeah,
wow.
gee, I wonder what this is about.
It's like he tried to make like a rom-com or like a rom-dram, and then at the end was like, "Ooh, let me just throw these twists in so it'll feel like a thriller," which we'll
And he
get
has
to later
and he
on.
had
But
yeah, it's and so there's two ways to view the movie. There's the way I view
yeah,
it, like because I'm viewing it and I'm not you're supposed to. put yourself in the husband's shoes, I guess, to empathize with the husband. And I'm just
Right.
not because like he just has like no ambition and he's just not a good husband and he's just kind of sitting there and he's always just weird and
Yeah.
so anyway, she this what is it, internet entrepreneur or some
Yeah.
generic rich guy.
They never even said what his company was, I feel
It was
like.
a social media inventor. I think
Yeah,
is I have
whatever
my
that
notes
is.
here.
I guess basically she's at work. Journey Smollett's character is working as a in-house therapist for a dating
Correct.
site or
Matchmaking
whatever,
company.
matchmaking company, yeah.
Correct.
And they have this guy come in, and he's, I guess, supposed to be like if there was a black Tinder, he would have been the
Black Mike. I
founder.
think he's like the Black Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, that's what I think. So yeah, like
Yeah,
Black Mark
he's
Zuckerberg, pretty
there
much.
to invest in the company, but he's single and
Hmm.
he's a very handsome guy, very fit guy. He's almost again over the top. But it doesn't
Right.
really work because Lance Gross is also handsome and fit.
That's
But
my point. It's like they made it seem like it was like the schlub with the handsome
yeah,
rich guy, and
it's
it's
just
like
again.
Lance Gross is like a very attractive guy conventionally based on like women's
Correct.
feedback or
I mean,
whatever.
he's just a
So what do
handsome dude.
you?
That is, I'm not like it's objectively he's a handsome guy,
Yeah,
and
no,
it's
he's a
just
handsome guy.
like,
Yeah, and
but the
it's just like
character is supposed to be like this loser,
this loser
husband,
fat like
right?
cuckold or whatever, and it's
Yeah,
like that doesn't work.
yeah. But anyways,
Also, personally, I don't think the actor who played the guy named Harley in the movie, the CEO, he just didn't have like the sauce that he was trying to get off in the movie. He
no,
wasn't believable as a charming
that
billionaire.
that painful sex convo at the elevator.
Oh God. First of all,
He
first of
said,
all,
"Are you turned on right now?" I
are you?
was like, I
First of
was
all, he
like,
was trying to go for like sexy and mysterious or brooding, and he just came off like a serial killer. He's literally in the camera. He's like, "Are you?"
on the floor.
He's like, "Do you have sex in the bathroom?" What the fuck was that about?
He was like, "All you do is on the bed, not on the
Yeah,
floor, not on the couch,
not
not
on
in
the
the
couch.
bathroom, not in the car." It's like
Right. Not on the
it's
train, not on the plane.
this is the first time they so we skipped a little bit, but like
This
not
is
a
their
lot
second day
happens.
working
Yeah.
together, basically. It's their second
Yeah,
day
and
working
she's
together, from
working
what I
late because
remember.
it's a movie, and of course she's working late with him alone. And
Right.
they're leaving the room and he just
That's
gets
normal and
horny out of
professional.
nowhere. It was really weird.
Bruh. First of all, where's HR? Where the hell
Yeah.
is HR?
You know, there's four people apparently working the whole building.
Right.
It's Kim, the fake French lady,
Yeah,
Journey,
Vanessa Williams.
and was that, yeah, it was Vanessa Williams and
uh what about
evil affair guy. We'll just
yeah,
call him evil affair
evil
guy.
affair guy. Yeah, fake ass Mark Wahlberg or Zuckerberg. Yeah,
The
that's just
social media inventor, which is just
yeah.
a placeholder thing you put when you're writing it. Because have you ever written a script before?
I think I've tried at some
And
point.
so, like, I've taken my hand in writing fiction, and like,
Yeah.
you flesh out the conversations afterwards. You use like placeholder convo and
Yeah.
placeholder job titles and placeholder names just to get plot on paper.
And
And
that's what
it's
this
like he
whole
never
movie
went
is.
back in like social. Like, if I'm writing a script, social media inventor is just like a generic job title I give a guy.
First of all, that's something a 12-year-old says they want to be for when they grow up.
Correct. And it's just like, and you come back afterwards and you punch up the words. You go,
Yeah.
okay, let me give him something a bit more specific. Now that I know where the story went, I can give him a real job. Now that I know
Yeah.
where the story went, I can punch up this dialogue. He just never goes back and punches it up.
No,
It's
not at
just
all.
first drafts. All of his movies are a first
Literally, just
draft.
like it's
Yeah.
first drafts. It's almost like he woke up the day the deadline
Yeah.
that the script had to be submitted, and he just like wrote the set last 30 pages.
No, I mean,
That's what his
you're
movies feel
not that
like.
far off. I remember there's more than one person who works with him has said that, like, nah, dude, we filmed that in like 12 hours. The
No,
whole
I believe it.
season.
Yeah, I believe that. That's and he basically shoots all his shit like soap operas. Like if you
Yeah.
not, I don't know if you know that, but like they
Yeah.
shoot like an episode a day.
Yeah. And you can tell.
Yeah.
But where'd you want to go with it? Because I kind of hijacked with the
Um.
sex combo.
Oh no, you're good. Yeah, but he just was creepy as fuck, man. He just, I don't know. He just has what I call serial killer face.
Yeah.
He just was real weird, and he was like trying to give like bedroom eyes, but he just looked like a Cheshire cat. I don't know. I just didn't get it.
We'll tell the audience, we'll put it like this. There's a reason why he hasn't been in any movies since.
Dead ass
This is
because
not a
he's
talented
not
actor.
he's not a good actor. He's a really, really, really bad actor. Just
It's like,
like,
are you turned on right now?
are you turned on? What? He spoke to her
Oh
like a
man.
drunk high school junior. Like
Yeah, it was
it
bad.
was
It was
crazy.
really bad.
Like He made Steve Stifler seem smooth.
Was it Nick Lovin? You could like you made him sound
Yeah,
like Brad
yeah,
Pitt.
chicka, chicka, yeah,
Bad. It was
yeah.
really bad.
Like he was a worse actor than Kim Kardashian was in this
Y-
movie, and she was horrible.
But so we'll try to ground this again.
Yeah.
The husband again, these like I'm watching it not through the because I mean off topic, but I just don't think Tyler Perry likes women very much, and so
No, he doesn't.
he just
He
punt like
also doesn't like dark-skinned black men,
he
which is
just
really
like
weird.
punishes them in the scripts. So
Yeah.
she's supposed to be the bad guy, but I'm watching it and I'm like, the nigga forgot her birthday.
Twice, two
How do
years
you
in a
forget your
row.
wife's birthday?
Two years in a row, dude.
I don't even know. I remember I remember people's birthday I don't even like.
Dude, yes. What's crazy to me is he's a pharmacist, meaning you have to keep schedules of
Yeah.
like prescription and shit for people to survive, and you can't remember your wife's birthday.
Yeah. And then it's like
It doesn't make sense.
also my guy, Otis Redding. I like old music,
I
but
love Otis Redding too. You're
but
supposed to
like
throw on some new
that's
edition.
your sexy music, Otis
First of
Redding.
all, the international "I'm sorry I fucked up" song for your woman is "Can You Stand the Rain" by New Edition. That's what you're supposed to play. You don't
Nigga did a
play.
sexy dance to Otis Redding.
By the way, with a guitar that he wasn't playing. He didn't even play the guitar.
I
He just
forget the name
went.
of the song, but Ye and Jay sampled it for
Otis. I mean,
yeah.
Try a Little Tenderness.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah,
the
they sampled
OG
it for
root.
Otis. Yeah.
Yeah. Um Oof, rough movie. And so
It's a tough it's a tough 2 hours, guys. We we did this for you.
and so yeah, you want to take it to act two?
Yeah, well,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, we can yeah, okay, yeah.
No, go
Before
for
we
it. What you
go,
got?
yeah, so okay, so two quick things. One, why was every scene with Brandy so filled with like 10-second silences? Like there was like so much dead air when she was it was like people thought they like had lines they didn't have or they
So
missed their cue. I don't know what it was. It was weird.
so
Or am I tripping?
one of my notes for act three was why is Brandy in this movie?
Like literally.
Oh, you could tell like the movie was done and they was just like, hey, but Brandy's here. Let's go
Yeah,
dance and stuff.
you know what it was? Brandy probably was on set to visit, and they were like,
Yeah,
"Hey, you want to do a couple
pretty much.
scenes?" That's what
Like,
I
hey,
feel
what
like
you
happened.
got? You got some time? Want to hop in?
Yeah, like what you doing?
She really didn't serve a big purpose of the movie.
No.
There's there's inconsistency that I want to point out at the end, but
Yeah.
I did want to say one more thing about this to illustrate his bad filmmaking. Very, very over the top, beat you in the head. Good husband, I mean, bad husband,
Bad
good affair
husband.
partner.
Right.
They walk out to
It's supposed to be
some
nuance.
none whatsoever. So he takes her out to dinner. Some guys,
Yes. Yes. I know what
is
you're
that
talking
you?
about. What?
You just hear I just heard a car. Anyways, we'll cut that. So it's like so the
They go out to dinner.
they go out to dinner. Some guys
Mhm.
are dickheads about it. They're hitting on her. They're
Yeah.
over the top. They call her a bitch. He's just like, no, honey, let's avoid this conflict. Let's go home. And then, like the very next scene, she's jogging in the park with the guy, and some guy bumps into her, and then the fair dude
What
just
are you
looks
doing?
over the top. It's just like, oh
Yeah.
my God, dude. Like
Yeah. Even
it's
the
like
scene
insulting
where
my intelligence.
yeah, even remember the scene where he was like being creepy at the elevator, like, "Oh, are you turned on right now?"
Yeah.
And then she goes home and tries to have creepy, rough sex with her husband. Like I thought that was a spoof. Like I was like, is she joking or is she serious right now? Like that shit was horrible.
So I tried to be serious. And so my question during Act One was,
Yeah,
when did she decide to have the affair?
that's a good question. I was going to ask you something similar. So for me, the affair started the second that she dressed, put her hair up to go running, and waited for him in the park.
Okay, so I mean I had it basically the scene before. We kind of were saying the same thing. That night when she came home horny and
Yeah,
he just was a total square about it. And the scene was absurd. The audience should know.
it was horrible.
Jordan's right. The scene was absurd, but I was just trying to be serious and I was like, okay, let me pretend that
No, I feel you. I
a
feel you though.
talented director looked at this and did this.
Right.
She's almost feral horny
Yeah.
and he completely rejects her off the top, just doesn't even entertain it, and just goes and he's just like, no, we're gonna do him, the regular way. And I think that night she was like, nah, I'm off this. um,
Yeah, I think so too. It was
so
yeah, it was
uh
weird.
yeah, so then there's that. And then
Um, yeah, I was gonna ask you something. Yeah, so I guess so you
sorry.
pretty much asked me the question I was gonna ask you, so I'll just ask you then. What do you consider cheating?
So, all right. So I think everything was fine, over the top a little, but correctable
Hmm.
until she decided to go to New Orleans alone. Like when they were flirting, and this gets into
Yeah,
Act Two. I thought a little jog in the morning, a little eye candy, it doesn't make me feel great, but that's fixable.
right. Yeah.
And the flirting at work, still fixable, but
Mhm.
the it got out of hand when it became when they went on a vacation together. Like
Yeah, right. They fucking
you
that was a
know,
honeymoon.
basically. Do you want to get into Act Two?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Act Two, we're gonna call the confrontation. That's Judith and Harley embark on a passionate affair. The thrill of the forbidden and the validation she receives from Harley fuel her desire. Um,
This part where Harley starts tricking.
Yeah, yeah. First of all, full disclaimer for those that that end up watching the movie, do a little trigger warning here. The first sex scene is wild rapey.
Yeah, it's very
Wild.
that
It
shit was
honestly made me
crazy.
uncomfortable. Like I
It
wanted to
did.
fast forward through it.
I was
Um,
like, is
and I'm
this
not
supposed to
squeamish at all,
be?
but it is wild rapey.
Yeah, I was like, is this supposed to be?
Bro, I
Uh,
think it was romantic. It's not.
yeah, I
It's
was like,
not.
is this harassment? Is this consensual non-consent? I don't know what this is right now.
It was
That shit was
uncomfortable.
creepy. It,
I
it
could say
was,
with confidence it was uncomfortable.
yeah, it was 100% uncomfortable. Yeah, yeah. It's
So
like he
they
didn't have it's like Tyler Perry didn't have a woman on the set. Like, what? No one thought to say, hey, this is not okay.
I don't
Or
I
eh,
don't think he likes hanging around women very much. I'll put it
that
that way.
is also true.
I
Just
think he
Oprah.
likes dressing up like
Just,
Medea a
just,
little too much.
just Oprah. Yeah,
Uh,
he's the most. Someone said he's the most famous. Someone on Twitter they were like he's the most famous drag queen of all time.
yeah. It is funny how no one calls him a drag queen when he's very clearly a drag queen.
No, he literally is. Yeah, he gets RuPaul a run for his money.
I mean, nothing wrong with it, but like
No,
that's
for
what
sure.
he
Yeah.
is. Um,
Um, my
he never
favorite
looks happier than when he's in that outfit.
dead ass, and he's only ever believable as Medea. It's the weirdest
Right.
thing.
Anyways, what you got for Act Two, man?
Um, okay, so he wines her and dines her. They're on the trip. They're on the plane, and stuff. What's crazy for me is like I understand she's like a southern. Oh, I guess for the listeners and viewers, Judith, the female lead in the movie, she is basically a small town girl who was raised in church. She's a preacher's daughter. So she's got a very narrow worldview. So I mean, relative to today, you could maybe call her a bumpkin, not to be derogatory or whatever.
I mean,
But
she's
it's
a
just like,
bumpkin.
yeah, and it's like at a certain point you have to ask yourself, how many women has he used this tactic on? You
Well,
know?
Brandy's in the movie, and
Right.
to the extent that she did anything useful, that's part of it.
Correct. Of course, we didn't know that at the time, I guess. Um, but yeah, it just was. But even like we talk about the inconsistencies in the script. Remember when she's back at his place and he helped her with her ankle after she fell with the biker,
Yes.
and she was like, "Well, I noticed those earrings and those heels and that jasmine
Yeah.
scent on the couch." So it's like, okay, you were observant and you could discern things at one point, and now you just are clueless. Now you just have no idea that
Well,
you're just like a lick for him
I
or a
mean,
possession.
he was a very physically fit, very, very wealthy man, and she didn't. I mean, she just was extremely turned on by him. It wasn't
Yeah.
really, the movie paints it as an emotional affair, but it was just clearly
Yeah, it was just lust and okay, so let me ask you
Hey,
this. Oh, go
correct. She just
ahead.
wanted, she just that was that she just want to have a little fun.
Yeah, she did.
And so that I'm cool with. She was discerning until she thought it was possible to sleep with him, and then she threw all discernment out the door.
Correct.
Keep in mind these characters are young. They're not. They're like 20. She's 26 in the movie.
Yeah, she's 26. Yeah.
So this is the only man she ever been with was Lance Gross's character. And so I mean that's fine. That's fine. I mean, she just have you ever she's fell in lust, and it happens.
Yeah,
Especially when you're dealing with someone that you've your high school sweetheart and things like that. So,
correct.
but it just went 0 to 100 so fast. Like they,
Yeah.
she just stopped coming home. Well, she comes home and then she's mad
Because
at
they
him.
never, yeah, they never really showed like, did she like leave, or was she just out late a lot, or they never really show even when he was aware of like officially aware of the affair. You know what I mean?
I don't think. Well, the this is okay. So the filmmakers are trying to make you seem like Lance Gross was neglectful.
Right.
And so you see, he forgot her birthday. Uh, he
Hmm.
forgot something else. He's not,
Yeah.
really locked into the pharmacy.
The marriage.
And so it
Yeah.
makes sense. That's consistent, and it makes sense that then he would notice the affair because he didn't notice her at all anyway. So
Yeah.
that's fine. Um, yeah. So I don't know.
Um, I was gonna say, and
Again,
even
again, good
yeah,
husband, bad husband. You know, he forgets her birthday. He sends flowers. The fair guy sends
the affair
flowers.
guy sends flowers. Yeah.
Just very, very on the nose.
Yeah, super, super, subtle artwork there.
We'll give him this credit though. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. So even like for one, Bryce was a world-class dumbass. Like, just
Yeah.
at no point did you think to wonder what the fuck is my wife doing, or
Yeah.
who is she doing it with, or why the fuck is her boss driving her home and she's drunk?
Nigga dropped her off in a fucking Ferrari. Wait a
Right.
minute. Y'all ain't
And
got no
you was
company cars.
and you was cool with that? Like, what? First
Even
of all, as we say on
the
Twitter, that's a body.
like the stepmom was like, you sure?
Yeah,
Like,
like, because why did he need to do that for you? Why did he feel safe enough to do that? You alone with him at night and y'all are coworkers. Um, yeah, and even like just with the all the like early tell not all there are a lot of early signs of Harley's character being like having showing abusive tendencies, I'll say. Um, where he kept saying like if you were mine, alluding to
yeah.
it has like a possessive language to it. He told her 8 different ways to Sunday that I'm crazy. Like he's in every thing that I've learned or heard from people that have been in abusive situations, like those are things you hear a lot. Um, like I've heard people say like, yeah, he could be a little controlling, but that's like how I know he cares. Shit like
Yeah.
that. Like those are very you know,
No,
telling things.
I tell the I tell the the women in my I won't use their names, but I tell the women in my life like never ignore those signs because it just never gets better. Like you never in
Yeah,
your
it
life
never gets better.
you never heard a woman say, "Oh, my husband used to beat me." Like no, like that
Right.
doesn't. That's not a thing. Like
Yeah.
it only escalates from
They don't
there.
just stop. Yeah.
It's like those things where women are like, my boyfriend is mean to everybody but me. That's only temporary. The until like
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time until you are also being, if he's mean to everyone but
Correct.
you are not an exception. You're just going he's just putting on a front for you.
He's
So
hiding it right now.
she ignored a lot of signs.
Yeah.
Especially like the over aggression, like the fist fighting a dude in the parking lot or in the
Yeah.
park over
Hmm.
like what was clearly an accident. I mean, come on. I get
Yeah.
pop off when it's time to pop off, but that was just clearly not. He wasn't. You think he was trying to run her over in a
Right.
fucking busy park? This is. Well, I don't know. I thought it was New York
DC
City,
or
but
Virginia. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Um,
doesn't make any sense.
correct. So let me ask you this about Act Two. So, or I have this event in Act Two where the husband's looking for his wife, and he goes magically knows where she is in some club, and he runs up in the club, and
Nigga who
she's
ain't never
like,
go outside, never did nothing.
right,
All of a sudden knows where the Molly Club is.
right, where the Molly and Coke and sex clubs are apparently,
Yeah.
because that's public information,
Yeah.
and
Just Google it.
so
Google sex clubs in DC
yeah,
and you'll
like
get all
let's
the
Google sex
answers.
Molly clubs, right. Um, And so he runs up in the club and he sees her there laid up with women and they're like coked up and pilled up, obviously. He's got his shirt open and he's like telling his wife, come on, let's go. And he's like, baby, what is he doing here? What are you doing in that situation?
I would be there. I'm a firm believer if a motherfucker can take you, he can have you. I'm not finna fight.
I
Now it's
feel you.
different. That was his wife. It's a little different. I've never been married. But no,
Right.
not finna pull you out. Well, if I thought her safety was an issue,
Got you.
that's still my wife. I'm going to make sure that she is safe and secure. So yeah, if I thought she was unsafe in that club, but no, I'm not gonna. If you're just in a club having fun, which what appear, I mean, the escalation comes later, which I 100% agree with. But no, I would not have
Right.
went into that club with her. But I will say this. I mean, I've been hard on
Hmm.
Mr. Perry, but he gave us the a great sound drop with Jasmine Sullivan. I'm in love with another man. Um,
Oh,
like
yeah.
when she breaks up with her husband, she tells him
Yeah.
there's this song. It's a Jasmine Sullivan song called "I'm in Love with Another Man." It's a great song.
Yeah.
The most ancient women. That is an ancient ass woman song.
It is.
Uh,
It is.
but he
Jasmine
asked
Sullivan
her,
makes great cheater music.
yeah. But he asked her. My guy Lance Gross asked her, what is it? Why do you want to do da? And she's like, "You're a great
I feel
guy."
dead with you.
He was like, I wrote it down. She said, "You're a great guy,
You're a good guy, but I want
but
a
I didn't
phenomenal
just
guy.
want a guy. I wanted a phenomenal guy, and you're not
Yeah.
phenomenal." I didn't ask for that much
That is
honesty.
that's some yeah, that is some harsh shit. And I understand that she was on coke and pills, but that is some harsh shit to say to someone that you swore to God that
I
you would
didn't
take you would
just
give your
wanted a
life for.
guy. I want a phenomenal guy. You're not phenomenal.
Phenomenal. What?
I
Listen, I can't even
That's a little too much
I
honesty,
don't
man.
even I don't know what I would do. What do
You
you
gotta
do after
love me
that?
enough to lie about that.
Yeah,
Hedge a
listen, love
little
me enough to
bit.
lie, baby.
Yeah, God damn.
Yes, if my soulmate's out there, I'm cool being lied to.
There's
Just
a
so you
there's a
know.
line in the third verse of that Jasmine Sullivan song, and she says, I can't explain why it's him and not you, but at the end of the day, I just don't want to. Good Lord. I could explain it. I don't know, but honestly, I don't even care enough to give you an explanation. It's over.
That's wild, man. That's some cold shit.
I can't explain why
But
it's
then
him
you
and
got the
not
audacity
you.
to want to bust windows out people's cars, Jasmine.
I mean, woman needs some value. Um,
That was some wild shit, man.
you want to get to Act Three?
Yeah, that's the only shit that where anything happens. Yeah, let's get to Act Three.
All right, so we're gonna go to Act Three. We're gonna call it the resolution. The truth of the affair is revealed, leading to a dramatic confrontation between Judith, Bryce, and Harley. The audience should know this is like the last 15 minutes of the movie. Like
Literally.
it's not a well-paced movie to say the least. Like
Not at
one
all.
of my notes for Act Two is that it gets a little, it starts to drag a little. Like, it's
Yeah, because it took too
again,
long to start the affair.
he could use some editors.
Yeah.
My first note, I said this earlier. Why is Brandy in this movie? And she's in this movie because Tyler Perry has it like it's almost like the dude has to be a supervillain. Like,
hmm
and so he has like Brandy's character is like, of course he's Harley's ex,
Yeah.
and he used to abuse her, and like she's there to show how she's basically there to show Judy
His
or
pattern of behavior.
Judith's endgame. Basically, she's like Ghost of Christmas Future for Judith.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And and so like Tyler Perry has her like sneaking through alleys like she's running from Batman. And it's just like, what just
By the
do?
way, in broad daylight.
It's just like, why can't you why are you
No,
so on the nose,
no,
man?
no. My favorite was when she walked into the apartment with a baseball bat like this. I was like, is she robbing someone or is that her house? I didn't know what the hell was going on.
It was her house. Like what? Like I'm sorry, but she's just like walking home from work, looking through the shadows like she's the Joker. It was like, what is
Yes.
going on? Who told it? Like this is not a real. That's
Why
not.
so serious?
Who is she running from? He's not. And then the movie paints it. So again, the inconsistencies.
Yeah,
Brady's character speaks as if she left town to get away from an abusive husband. Like she
right.
moved, uprooted her whole life. And
Like
the
she
niggas
moved from
down the street, they're in the
California.
same city. It's just
They're in the same
like,
city.
it's just terrible
She's like, I
filmmaking.
moved and changed my name.
Yeah, it's like,
Down
did
the
you move?
street.
He lives across the street from you, man.
Like, did you change your zip code? I'm confused. That shit was nuts.
Oh, oh,
Um, so my first takeaway for Act Three, is, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, never leave your job for a man or woman. It never,
no,
ever, 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 ever ends well. It never
no,
works out well for anyone. I don't care how
never.
rich that person is, they're not gonna keep taking care of you.
Yeah, I agree. Also, recurring theme, don't fuck your coworkers. Really bad idea.
Yes, don't fuck your coworkers.
I guess he was her client, not her coworker. Tomato, tomato. Do not
True.
have it. Don't have sex with people that you see at work. Full stop.
Yeah,
So let me ask you this:
yeah,
serious. Pretend this is a serious movie by a serious person.
right.
Would you say the affair was justified? Okay, let me clean this up.
Okay,
Serious movie by a serious person. And the dude, when I wrote this down, it was in the second act before the abuse started. So, like,
gotcha,
not
gotcha,
knowing about the abuse, just like, do
gotcha.
you think
Okay.
she was justified in being unsatisfied with? Better question: was she justified in being unsatisfied with her husband?
I think she was justified in being in feeling taken for granted by her husband. Not satisfied. To me, that's on you to communicate to your partner.
She did though.
Um,
He just wasn't listening.
I mean that's fair. I
She was
think
like, I want to start my own business.
yeah.
I want
But
us to
again,
grow.
that's the problem with the writing too, because they were poor. So how are you going to start your own practice at it? Like,
Well,
you know
she
what I
didn't
mean?
want to be poor anymore. But
True.
again, she's like, she's coming up with he just seemed very content with where he was in life.
Yeah, I think he just wanted a simple, modest life. And for me, you knew that when you met him, and you knew that when you married him.
They met as teenagers though.
And you, yeah, that's true.
I mean, who is
Damn,
the
you're
same
right.
at 26 as
You're
you are at
right.
17?
Yeah, you're
Um,
right. Well, that's the thing too. Also, like marrying your high school sweetheart. I don't know how that works out often for people.
I mean, statistically, it
You
doesn't
know?
work out very well. But no,
Yeah.
I don't think an affair was
I mean,
justified in the sense
yeah,
that
like
like
she
no
was
affair
valid in her
is.
emotions. I don't think she was valid in her actions.
I think it's hard for me to say an affair is justified because you shouldn't do that.
Right.
If you want to leave, you should leave. But
Correct.
I understand real life can be complicated, and
Hmm.
the dissolution of a marriage is not it's not easy.
As clear cut as people think it is.
But and it's awfully convenient that the character she had an affair with was this like chiseled, filthy rich man. It's
Right.
not like she met a dude down at church and was like, I just feel a connection to him.
Right.
You know, um, so I would say it's not justified, but I don't think he was a good husband. Um,
Agreed.
and I think just because someone didn't sit you down and say I'm unhappy doesn't mean that she didn't try to communicate that she was unhappy. She told him, you know, I want to do this with my therapy thing, and he's just
Yeah,
like,
that's
no,
true. That's
he
true.
just shoots it down and says, let's think about this 10 years later.
Yeah,
10 years?
15 years. Yeah,
Like
that was not the support that she was looking for after a shitty day of work.
forgot her
Um, Birthday twice.
birthday twice, kept bitching about her cooking, even though she's the one working late. Like, dude, just get in there
Right.
and bust some. Like, I cook every day. It's not that,
Yeah.
like he
I
just
think,
wasn't meeting her halfway on a lot. Again, this is poor filmmaking. He didn't really show it. You have to almost
right.
dig. But I think in the hands of that's why I've prefaced it by saying, assuming it's a good movie by a good
Yeah.
director. I think there was a
If this
good
was done
movie in
by a
here
competent
somewhere.
artist.
Correct. Correct.
So interesting you asked me that question because as I was watching the movie and the plot unfold, it really reminded me a lot of the first season of Insecure, where they kind of painted it like Lawrence should have been cheated on because he like didn't have a job, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now granted, he was taking her for granted, and he did also ironically forget her birthday. Um,
In a much more believable way.
in a much more believable way.
Because Issa Rae is actually good at making movies.
Correct. And he
Anyway.
was also depressed and all that stuff, whatever. So just reminded me of that, and it's like my thing, a big trope that I find annoying in movies is when they paint the woman who cheats in a movie as a sympathetic figure because she felt unwanted, and I just don't get why that. It's just interesting to me how that's always been uh presented to audiences.
Um, I, I agree that happens sometimes, but I don't think that happened here. I think Tyler
Yeah,
Perry purposefully punished her aggressively for the
yeah,
affair.
for sure.
And he kind of papered over Lance's or what's his name, her husband's name, his
Bryce, yeah,
shortcomings, Bryce's shortcomings, because you know I'm sorry, but like I forgetting her birthday, dude. Like
no, that's fucking insane.
I got
Like if you
coworkers whose
messed up
birthdays I
something,
don't
like
forget.
I've fucked up people's
Yeah,
birthdays. Like it was like, oh, I got the wrong gift or
yeah,
something like that, but it was never, oh, I completely forgot. It was never that, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So that's 100%. It's like that scene from Insecure where Chad was like, "You did say you didn't give a fuck about her."
yeah,
And he said, "When? When you forgot her birthday?"
yeah,
Like, like
yeah.
that's completely valid.
I think male communication is very
Different in movies.
straightforward,
Yeah,
and so we think because she didn't sit us down and have this, I'm unhappy because of X, Y, Z,
right.
that means she didn't care. But if you actually were honest with yourself and you went back and played that movie back in your head, you'll see the communication there, even
Yeah,
if she
that's
didn't
true.
sit you down and have a full-fledged conversation with that. Men are just much more confrontational, so we don't view indirect confrontation as a statement of,
Confrontation.
yeah,
Yeah,
correct. So
as a statement of discontent. Yeah.
there you go. I like that. Yeah, that's That's really all I had. Other than I got one last question at the end, but you got anything else?
Uh, yeah, let me see. So one thing to me that was stupid about the movie was the
Just one?
complete. Well, sorry, there's like 50 things. I could write a movie called 50 Things I Hate About You about this movie.
Yeah,
So the complete switch up in Holly's character, like his tone changed, his the way he dressed changed, his whole like man, all his manners was changed. Like all of a sudden he's wearing like shades and leather jackets and shit, and he's just like openly beating her in front of her mom. Like
yeah.
it was just like what the
Pushes her
fuck?
mom down at the prayer circle.
Right, the prayer circle.
But that's just bad filmmaking.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, we could do a whole series of Tyler Perry movies. We won't, thank God. But it's just like a common theme in his movies is that he just lacks a subtle touch. Everything is
Yeah.
just over the top. So it's like he can't show through good artistry the slow the graduate increase in how domestic violence happens is like the love bombing, the
Correct,
switch up.
correct. Yep.
He just literally has to make the nigga put on a leather jacket. He's
Yeah.
literally like a Poindexter in one scene, and then now he's
Right.
bad. It's
Now
almost
he's a
like
badass.
if you watch Family Matters, it's almost like he went into the
Stefan
transformation machine,
and
yeah,
yeah.
and he came out with his leather jacket, and now he's Mr. Wife Beater, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's just very over the top. He just does not
Correct.
trust his audience with anything. He needs to scream
Yeah.
it at them. So yeah, no, it just
Yeah, no, that's a
yeah,
great way to
it's
put it. Yeah. Yeah, that was something that really annoyed me. When he kept using the phrase like, I just get so crazy when I'm in love. It's like again, fucking run. Like, I don't give a fuck how special that guy's making you feel or girls making you feel to people in the audience. If they say that shit to you, get the fuck out.
crazy is never not never, but it's
They
often
because eventually they're gonna show you that they're
yeah,
crazy.
correct. Again, they're mean to everybody, but you until is silent there, you know.
Yep.
So I would just say this. Did you like the was the message of the movie good or bad? Which is a
Um,
very childish, silly superhero concept, but like
right.
overall, do you think if you went into that movie with no understanding of relationship dynamic, would you come away
Hmm.
with a good one or a bad one?
Uh, I definitely said I came away with a bad one. I don't think anyone in the movie had a good relationship with anyone in the movie. Like her relationship with her mom was it sucked for no reason. She didn't have any friends. He didn't have any friends. Uh, yeah, no, I just
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
like, oh, okay, so relationships can just get bad really quickly.
yeah.
Um,
So I didn't like. I mean, it's hard to boil. I don't want to boil it down to this simple because
mhm.
but like, but his movies are very simple. It just feels like, hey, if a woman chases her happiness, she's gonna get AIDS. Like it's literally, audience, he literally gave the woman AIDS. She, at the end of the movie, Brandy's character is like, and I got AIDS. He's like,
Well,
my
first of
wife is
all,
with
it's
him.
HIV.
And she runs. And he's like, and she's like, guess what? I have AIDS too. If your husband's terrible and you say, hey, I want to leave him, you can't do that because you might get AIDS.
That shit was that. I mean, and
Literally
honestly,
gave
so I
her
went back
AIDS.
and
What, what the fuck? The man, he puts on a leather jacket and he starts beating her and he gives her AIDS. That's literally
that was the whole act three.
it's so much. So bad.
I will say
It's fifth grade reading level
dude,
of
yeah,
movie,
man.
but
I've actually read up on some of the reviews for the movie, and Tyler Perry was widely criticized for that
it's
for
not a
that
good
plot
movie.
device. Well, not even that, just for that plot device, like just like as if that's like karma for
For,
infidelity or whatever.
also, I
Um,
love how she goes to her ex-husband's pharmacy to pick up her AIDS medicine. Like there's no Walgreens around where you live.
dog.
You really got to endure this shame every time. The indignity
Come on,
of
bro.
picking up your HIV meds from your husband, ex-husband, who is of course
Like
happily married with the kid,
with his beautiful new family.
of course, because
And-
he's a good man and good things happen to him and bad things happen to
yeah,
her because we need. It's a movie. It's a superhero
that
movie.
shit
We
was
need
nuts, dude. That shit was crazy. Yeah, man. I think I have a question for you.
go for it.
Um, so on a scale of like small like plastic bag to like a landfill. How trash was this movie?
Is that you asking me for my rating?
Nah, I'm just fucking with you.
We can just go to the
I
rating.
wasn't. So this movie, there's a couple of takeaways I do have from this movie though. So
Okay.
one, I have this theory: never trust a black man with no facial hair, and this movie just further proved it.
The point we made earlier, like, there's a reason he hasn't been in anything else. That nigga is ass.
Ass.
Like,
He was a
like,
horrible. He
terrible,
was a horrible actor.
terrible
Like
actor.
how
Really.
ass was he as an actor? Pre-weight loss Megan Thee Stallion.
He said, he said, I get crazy when I.
They're crazy when I'm like, even remember when he's after he like hit her, but right before he hit her in the after they left her mom's house or the
Yeah.
house with the mom, and she's spazzing on him, and he's like, "Ooh!" Like he's like mad. He's like, "Where's my shit?" Because he's looking for his coke or whatever. I guess that would calm him down.
I
That
gotta we
shit,
forget. Yeah, he had her doing drugs. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, he was horrible. I think honestly, I think the movie would have been better if they had had him and Lance switch roles. I think it would have been more believable that way, personally.
I think
Or
I
if Tyler
think
Perry
there's a
just never wrote
good
the script,
movie in
but
here somewhere. I think it was an hour 40. It need to be about 20 minutes longer, and it need to be in the hands of someone with a bit more with a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. Just like, let's fine tune some
correct.
things. Let's add a couple scenes here. Let's bring some
Yeah.
escalation here. If you ever seen the
Hmm.
movie Unfaithful with Richard Gere and some lady, I forget her name. That's just a bit
Hmm.
more. It's this movie about an affair that's just a bit, the woman
Yeah.
having an affair that's just a bit more
Hmm.
artful, for lack of a better
Yeah, or
word.
even like Fatal Attraction or like what's that movie with Julianne Moore and Amanda Seyfried? I think it's called The Affair, maybe. Let me look it up. That's gonna bug me. But yeah, no, I just feel like if you're right, there is a good movie in there somewhere. I think if you cut out 20 minutes of the first act, you take instead of that bullshit epilogue, you actually develop that for 10 to 15 more minutes,
Scrap the
and
whole
you get
therapy
that.
thing. There's no need for this.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah, there was
don't
no need for
need.
that.
It added nothing
You
to
could
the
have just done a
movie,
voiceover, and that would have been just
or
as
just tell the
effective.
movie like, we don't. What do you need this
Yeah,
for?
that
We
too.
don't need you to be like both the beginning and the end. Just this unnecessary.
Yeah. And just had like three more good actors in the movie because the affair guy, he was trash. Um,
Vanessa Williams is a good actress, but she was terrible in this movie.
yeah, she was.
Uh,
But she's beautiful, so and I love her, so we're just gonna let that slide.
yeah.
Um,
Kim
uh,
Kardashian, I'm fine with that little cameo appearance.
yeah, she was all right. It was a
Yeah,
cute little whatever. Her being the bougie,
yeah.
what they call it, nice nasty
It
friend, you know.
worked. It worked.
Yeah, it was on brand for her. Um, yeah, it could have been way better if like someone had bothered to edit it or read over the script at all.
Yeah, that's the thing with it's a reoccurring theme in his movies is that you feel like you're watching his first draft.
Yeah,
So you want to rate it?
yeah. I'll let you go
Uh,
first.
two. Um, it's
That
not
high, huh?
it's not unwatchable. Like, it's not like Medea goes to jail or just something that's
Yeah,
just totally.
there's when it gets unwatchable, it gets really unwatchable.
Yeah, that middle act gets a little hazy.
Yeah.
So I would give it a two.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm not grading it on a curve. I really do think
nah, I
that,
feel you.
like, I give it a two. We'll stop it there.
Yeah. I give it 1 star. I really just thought it was a horrible movie. I did not like it. I thought about hitting you and be like, yo, can we just like do another movie?
I mean, well, we'll
Uh,
talk about that off screen, but
no, it's cool. And plus, I like a good hate watch is all right every now and then.
I,
We don't do rage bait, so it's fine. But no, I just genuinely just did not like this movie. And I like also, I've been wanting to get my shit off about Tyler Perry for years, so this just like gave me the excuse to do that.
and
Yeah,
it's like
one star, would not recommend.
it's a fair movie to do a Tyler Perry hate off on because
Correct.
he's trying on this movie. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying with Medea's Family Reunion. That's
Or
supposed to be silly.
Boo, the Madea Christmas
Yeah, like, those are
Halloween
supposed to
movie.
be damn near parodies almost.
Right.
Like, this is a movie you could tell he tried. He's trying to make a film
Yes.
and he's not good at it. All right, thanks for listening. My name is Darius. D is all up in your area on all socials.
And I'm Jordan, Jordan B. Writing on all socials.
Please rate, like, and subscribe. We are at Moviegoers Pod on all socials, Moviegoers PD on Twitter.
Yeah, and you can also reach out to us for any to make any movie recommendations. We'll check our inbox and make sure to watch them and review them for you. You can email us at moviegoerspod@gmail.com. That's moviegoerspod@gmail.com. Next week, we're going to be reviewing the movie Flight. Thanks for coming to the movies with us, and that's a wrap.